Hi class, I hope this video finds you and your family doing well. And before I move on to anything else, I want to say thank you for all the hard work that you guys have been putting into online learning and for getting all of your rough drafts due. And before I move on to anything else, I want to remind you that your teachers, and myself included, we are on your side. And when I grade whatever you're turning in, I really try to look at what you're doing and give you as many points as I can get. And in order for me to do that, I need your help. And you can help me in two ways. The first way that you can help me is making sure that you turn in your assignments. If you're not turning it in at all, there's really not much that I can do. So if you're watching this video thinking, oh no, I totally forgot about the rough draft, even though it's late, make sure it gets in. Because if you turn it in, I can then at least give you some points. But if you're not doing that at all, there's really not much I can do to help you. The second thing that you can do to help me is making sure that whatever you're doing, you're putting in your best effort. And I know that sometimes you might be confused, but make sure it's always a reflection of your best work. I want to move on now to talking about what is due this week. So if you're ever confused about what is due this week, go to Google Classroom and then try to find the agenda during school closure. I'm going to click on it. And this is going to be really clear with you on what is due this week, or any week for that matter. This week is shaded in blue, so if you take a look at these dates, it looks like there's a lot due this week, but in all honesty, these two assignments that I have up here should be done in less than 5 minutes. What I want you to do is take a picture of your stamp sheet and your study guide and submit them to Google Classroom. That is due this Wednesday. Just make sure you read the instructions on how I want this done. Again, these two things you already have. You just need to take a picture of them and submit them. The next thing that I want you to do is the peer review. The peer review is also going to be due this week on Wednesday. So what you need to do is sit down, make sure that you go to turnitin.com, and turnitin.com will guide you through the entire process. I don't expect that this would take you more than 40 minutes to do. So it's just a matter of finding time, sitting down, and getting it done. The big deal, though, is going to be this assignment right here that's due on Friday. So even though you finish your rough draft, it is so important that you guys have to get your final draft in, because the final draft is where most of the points are. So no matter what, make sure you get the final draft in. For your final stoichiometry lab report, work on this every single day, little by little. Take your rough draft and cross-check it with the rubric that I gave you, and make sure that you have all of the elements on there. You're going to be submitting your final draft this Friday to turnitin.com and to Google Classroom. Turnitin.com will check for plagiarism, and Google Classroom is where I actually will grade them. So it's important that you guys turn into both and not just one of them. And like I said earlier, if you guys already did the rough draft, don't just flake out on this, because if you guys did the rough draft but you don't turn this in, you're losing most of the points that you really deserve. So make sure that you are submitting this to both turnitin.com and Google Classroom this Friday. What I also want is, I also want you to take a picture of pages 3 to 5 of your stoichiometry lab handout. So those are the pages that you did all of the work on. Initial all the pages and then turn it into Google Classroom with your final draft. That is all due this Friday. And the last thing that is on here is the stoichiometry unit exam, and it says here to be announced. I don't expect that this is going to take place this week, but it's going to be probably sometime next week, and I'll let you guys know more about that. All right, class, so that pretty much sums up this week's assignments. I tried keeping the workload every week very reasonable, but it's your job to make sure that you guys are spacing out your assignments and doing a little bit every day. I also want to know how many of you are watching this video all the way until the end. So if you watched this far, leave a comment and tell me your favorite animal. Nothing else, just tell me your favorite animal, and that's it. All right, well, see you guys all next week.